Just a little bit more, baby girl.
So one of the things Catherine wants to wait for is for her to get her head back in the cage, because we try not to reward them for sticking their heads out. They're so anxious, and their heads fit, which freaks us out. We hate to see them do that. Fear them hurting themselves.
I'm always afraid she's not going to be able to get her head back in there.
Yeah, those ears move well in one direction, but not the other. Ginger is an African serval, and so she would be native to Africa, and it's really cold here in Florida today. It's like, I don't know, 37 degrees last time I looked.
Yeah. I think the high today is going to be 50.
Oh. So for us Floridians and the servals, this is really, really cold weather.
Really cold weather.
Oh,
I know.
Excited.
We're so excited. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
There's a number of things that we do for the cats during the winter. I'm not seeing any of your comments, so I apologize. I'm seeing people as they log in, and I see there's 361 of you, but I can't see anything you're asking. So
I'm going to give her the rest of her snacks in her lockout.
okay, go on by. So all of you extreme explorers who watch these cats on the live webcams all day, please help me out with the questions people probably have. I know we have 5 questions people always ask, and so you can find the answer to those 5 questions at bigcatrescue.org/top5. This, my stabilizer doesn't want to stabilize all of a sudden. This is what we call a feeding lockout. So the cats are usually fed in this little box, and the reason that we do that is because if we had to catch her for some reason, then Catherine would be able to shut that guillotine door, and it's a, oh no, you don't have to, but
Okay. It's good practice for her. It's good for them to hear that noise and nothing bad happen.
yes.
And then she gets to come back and get the rest of her snacks. Good girl.
Mom, out the back door?
So in the feeding lockout, in case there was some damage to her cage or something that meant that she had to be locked in here for an extended period of time, she's got her water bowl, she's got her feeding block, and this fine mesh that we have around the cage is to keep the vultures out, because we feed first thing in the morning, and then the cats don't always eat all of their food. I think Ginger might.
I think right now while it's cold, everybody's eating all their food.
So we don't want any vermin to come in there. And steal food and be rewarded by it. So just like we don't want to reward her for sticking her head through the wire, we don't want to reward the vultures coming around and picking up the food after the fact, although that would lessen our cleaning. The vultures really stink. They have a horrible, horrible smell to them, and they intimidate some of the smaller cats, so we can't let them come here and get food.
And they will keep telling their friends where the free food is, and then we will be overrun with them.
Yeah, that's the truth. So the radio that you keep hearing is because Catherine's the operations manager. She has to be in charge of everything that's happening out here. And so she's got to know when tours are going out and when cats have snakes in their cages.
There you go.
All of that kind of stuff.
To herd cats upon cats all day.
The next cat that we're going to go see is Frosty serval. Frosty is a white-footed serval, and we have no idea how that happens. I don't know of any other white-footed servals out there anymore. My suspicion is that it's from crossbreeding with domestic cats. We have 4 cats here who are Savannah cats, which is a cross between a serval, like you just saw, Ginger, and a domestic cat. But that's a really bad thing to do, because for the most part, servals would rather eat domestic cats than breed with them. Hey, beautiful. And you get a cat that turns out to be really confused as to who they are. They are very aggressive, They spray, they bite. In fact, speaking of the Savannah cat, there's one right there. Teacher! And they're very chatty. They talk all the time. Teacher always has a lot to say. So we think that he possibly has some domestic cat in his background, which would create those white stockings, which are not normal for a serval. Frosty is in funcation. So all of our big cats have a 2.5 acre vacation space where they can get a 2-week vacation, and they're rotated through those spaces. And then the smaller cats have this 22,000 square foot funcation, and they get their vacations out here. So Frosty's on vacation for 2 weeks. On their first vacations, they are usually really concerned about whether or not the feeding cart is going to find them. But once they figure that out, then it's all good. You know, tell them about what the food is that you're feeding him.
He's getting red or beef, I guess we call it red. He's getting beef. He's also getting some ground beef as a little extra treat because he had to wait to get his food this morning. And then he's getting what we affectionately call mush, which is kind of a coarsely ground meat, which has all the animal parts in it. It has organ meat, it has cartilage, it has bone, and it's called a carnivore diet. So it has all of the stuff that they would eat in the wild. So they would consume the whole animal in the wild. So this is about as close as we can get to him consuming the whole animal. It's all his nutritious stuff.
We call it their broccoli.
We call it their broccoli. And we have lots of cats that like the yummy meat and then ignore the mush. And then we have to actually put vitamin supplements then on their meat if they're just getting the muscle meat, because that's not really any kind of nutrition for them. They need the organ meat and the bone and the cartilage and everything to have any nutrition. Is that good?
So good.
So yummies. So yummies.
We recently had a number of people from the media contact us and say, you know, now that it's cold, they're like, oh my, what are you guys doing for the cold? And you were prepared for the cold like a month ago at least.
We were sweating our butts off putting heating dens in for all the cats. And I'm like, we're sweating, but we're putting heating things in. But it was good that we did it because this kind of came up sudden how cold it got so quickly.
Yeah.
So it was good that we were already prepared for all of our kitties to be chilly. All right, handsome. You ready for rest for your breakfast?
This lockout has to be built a lot bigger because some of the cats who go on vacation in here are cats like this black leopard next door, so they have to be bigger. Biggest cats that go on funcation are the leopards and cougars, and then out in the 2.5 acre vacation rotation is where the lions and tigers go. Do you have any food for Nat?
I do. You feed Nat cow?
So this is an extra special surprise since we're only at 8 minutes and usually we're allowed about 10 or so.
Awesome.
We have a new cat here at the sanctuary. She is an Amur leopard, which is really, really rare. And she's kind of shy, but she likes Catherine and she really likes food. And she likes it when it's cold.
Food.
And since, again, I can't see any of your questions, I apologize, but the top 5 questions that people ask all the time, you can find the answer at bigcatrescue.org/top5.
Come on, pretty. Nat, Nat. Pretty girl. Nat, Nat. Come on, pretty. Come on. Need some snacks? Come on, pretty girl. Come on. Come on. There's a good girl. Come on, Puddin'.
going to talk kind of quietly because Nat is a little nervous with there being two of us here, and let you know that she is full grown, tiny and cute and fluffy as she is. She's, I think, 16 years old, and she was surplus to the species survival plan. So at the big accredited zoos, they have species survival plans for some of the more rare cats, but when they get too old to be used for breeding, then they become surplus. And this particular zoo was expanding their habitats and making them much more animal friendly for the cats. But they had two cats that they weren't going to be able to expand for. So am I leaving enough room for you to get past her? So Natalia rather, the Moor leopard, everybody just calls her Nat there, and Manny the jaguar came here just about a month ago. This is her feeding lockout, and the door is down so that she can't get in there while Catherine is putting the food in, because they'll be reaching and grabbing and that would be bad. So once the food's in, then she opens it up. You may have seen her do that with Frosty too. Good job, Natalia.
Eating like a big girl now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And thank you, Catherine.
Absolutely. Thank